So more and more angst in people about the economy. Interesting thing in the Wall Street Journal recently was a survey showing that the angst about the economy is striking all income levels. Now, let's face facts. People at the higher end of the income in the United States, people earning a lot more money than average, they've been having really great times, but they're kind of freaked right now, which only means they've joined a lot of people at the lower end of the income scale who've been struggling for a good while, where inflation was devastating and left them without enough money to pay monthly bills. The airlines that depend so heavily on wealthier people and on companies spending money on travel, their stocks have gone into a deep dive, because what's one of the things you can cut out right away is discretionary travel. And so now economists see the chance of a recession somewhere, depending on who you believe, somewhere between 40 to 60%. Now, just because there's a chance of a recession doesn't mean we're going to have one. But I would say the odds are much higher that we're going to have something that is referred to as shorthand in economics as a growth recession. A growth recession is when the economy continues to grow, but at a very slow rate. But it's slow enough that there are more layoffs that people experience, and getting a new job becomes more troublesome. There are people who believe we already have those conditions in the employment market of what is referred to as a growth recession. But we could have a recession. It is normal to have a recession. It is normal for the stock market to have periods of extreme exuberance followed by a lot of pessimism, which is what we've got right now, going into a correction. Maybe we could have a bear market, which is basically double the loss of a correction, 20% down. Stock market's been way high priced. You look at the value of shares versus the earnings that companies have, and the values are out of hand. So they were priced for true perfection. And right now, things are like, well, yeah, things don't look as great. So those stock values that were in the stratosphere come more back towards earth. So, yeah, it's going to be a tougher time. Are we going to have anything brutal like the Great Recession or anything like that? Not likely. The only X factor is what tariffs could do to our economy and other economies around the world. And historically, tariffs have been really ugly for economies, both the economy placing them and the countries they're placed on. Because you know who pays for tariffs? We do, you and I as consumers. So they're a drag on economic growth. So this could be tougher times up ahead, but I don't see a disaster up ahead. But in your own life, you could already feel like you're moving into a danger zone or are in one. So what are the things I want you to think about? I want you to think long and hard about big purchases, discretionary spending, spending money on want-tos instead of have-tos. Now, there are those of us at the lower end of the income scale that are rolling their eyes because you're only able to struggle through paying for the have-tos. But a big chunk of the population, have-tos you're able to handle, so there's a lot of want-tos. This is a time that you need to repair your personal balance sheet. If you're running credit card balances, personal loans, have a home equity line of credit outstanding with money owed on it, This is when you repair those things. You pay down debt. You pay debt off. You be prepared for a rainy day. If the rainy day doesn't come, then great. You've improved your personal finances in a big way. And it means that you've lowered anxiety in your life. But let's say you're living a high voltage life. You got a good paycheck, and you also have pretty significant expenses. And then out of nowhere, the boss says, hey, you got a minute? And you walk into a room and the HR person's there, and you know then you're curtains, you're gone. And you've been living that pretty highfalutin life. If you have already put the things in place of having secure finances, having a rainy day account, being prepared, because rainy days show up when you don't expect them. Think about a day when you're out there and it's just beautiful. And I think about this happens at the beach. There'll be people on the beach. And then out of nowhere, a storm rolls in and people are running from the beach, getting drenched. That happens in life too. But right now, the economy is sending you clear signals. This is a time for you to be prepared. Be a scout. Be prepared for what could come. And then you'll be rewarded either way. You don't hit hard times, or you do, you'll be prepared.